In this project, we decided to compare and contrast the gender roles present in 3 different world cultures' television. We used America, Japan, and Mexico. Television has a huge effect on a child's perspective of their own world, and gender roles presented at an early age can change the way they act toward and treat others. We specifically chose shows or movies that were targeted at all genders relatively evenly, so as to contrast the messages within each that were presented to all genders.
Rugrats is an American children's television show that started in 1991 and the last episode aired 2004. It's about 1-year-old Tommy Pickles and his friends' adventures in their day-to-day lives. The surprising thing about this show is that despite the time in which it first came out, the gender roles typical of that time period do not appear in the show. Angelica's mother is the breadwinner of the family, whereas the father is the caretaker of their daughter, Angelica.
Lately, Angelica's been acting like a real princess.
That's great! In a male-dominated power structure, she's gotta eat, breathe, drink, and sweat self-esteem.
The baby twins, Phil and Lil, both wear dresses. Phil and Lil's mother portrays more of the typical masculine traits versus their father, who is more gentle and soft-spoken.
Today we're doing tumbling, jumping, and let's take control of the Senate sing-along.
One of the fathers in the show is a widower and takes care of his baby as a single grieving father. While the show was made for kids and aired on Nickelodeon, it portrayed concepts about gender that adults even now appear unable to grasp.
I think it's time you shared these things with Chucky.
Well, I'm just afraid he'll miss her.
Then you can miss her together.
Chucky, this is your mommy.
See, guys? I do have a mom. She's right here in the flowers, and in the clouds, and in the grass, too, and the sun, and the wind.
Naruto is a Japanese children's show that first aired in 2002 and ended in 2007. It is about a young ninja in training, one who desperately wants to become the leader of his village and has secret powers trapped inside of him. This show is an incredibly typical example of Asian television. Women are portrayed wearing only dresses and as the much more dramatic, emotional, weaker characters. Any woman's power comes only from her sexuality, and men think of women for that reason alone.
Now the real trick about peeping is to not get caught.
Men are shown as the more powerful characters, the protectors and the saviors of the weak-willed and terrified females.
You're just so reckless. You idiot! Thank you. You know, I could almost fall for him. Huh?
Naruto in particular often uses a female form to distract and defeat his attackers. This is indicative of a wider spread ideology that exists in Asian cultures, one in which women, while having only the ability to be strong, must always serve men first.
The movie Coco was released in 2017, which shows Miguel, a boy from a Mexican town called Santa Cecilia, who goes to the land of the dead to find his great-great-grandfather. Women in the film are shown as independent and powerful. For example, Miguel's great-great-grandmother owned a shoemaking business that the rest of her family worked for, both men and women. All of the female characters were seen wearing dresses or skirts, while men wore suits or more casual outfits. A majority of the men were shown as less aggressive and loud compared to the women, although some were seen as backstabbing.
Miguel! Abuelita! What are you doing here? You leave my grandson alone.
Doña, please. I was just getting a shine.
I know your tricks, Mariachi. What did he say to you?
He was just showing me his guitar.
Shame on you.
My grandson is a sweet little angelito querido cielito. He wants no part of your music, Mariachi. You keep away from him.
Men in the film also showed a great value for reputation. Coco hits a middle, as it portrays a transitional area in which women are able to attain more power and male personalities don't have to be based on strength, but a small number of traditionalist ideals of manhood remain.
The photo, I lost it.
It's okay, mijo. It's...
Hector! Hector?
Coco.
No, we can still find the photo.
Miguel, it's almost sunrise.
No, I can't leave you. I promised I'd put your photo up. I promised you'd see Coco.
We're both out of time, mijo.
After viewing TV shows from a variety of cultures based in different parts of the globe, we can conclude that gender roles and stereotypes have in fact prevailed in some children's programming. In Naruto, gender roles are clearly displaying sexist ideas to an impressionable youth. In Rugrats, reverse gender roles are put on display for American children, allowing influences from the world to mesh with their fairly liberal ideas. And in Coco, gender roles are both upheld and reversed, giving a modern message to Hispanic youth, mixed with traditionalist ideals. It is interesting to see how each culture portrays these roles, as well as how children could internalize these ideals. The symbolic interactionist perspective states that people attach meaning to symbols and then act upon their interpretation of these symbols. These shows could have a massive impact on youth, as children watching these different roles being played, especially at such a young age, could end up developing a certain reaction and could be impacted by these portrayals on television.